Estamos con The Amy Winehouse Band, quienes van a tocar hoy día en la noche en la sala RBX. Estamos muy contentos porque nunca han estado en Chile y los vamos a entrevistar.
Hello, I'm Henry Collins, human being, trumpet player.
Hi, I'm David Timms, also human and keys player.
Hello, I'm Stuart Anning and I'm the drummer.
Hello, I'm Bronty Shand and I'm the singer.
Hi, I'm David Temple, I'm mostly human and I'm the saxophone player.
Hello, I'm Howie Gondway, I'm the guitar player.
Hello, I'm Dale Davis and the bass player in the band.
So guys, first of all, how are you liking Chile, Santiago?
Well, we only got here last night.
I know, yeah.
At 8:30. But so far it's been great. We went out and had some really great food last night, and the weather's beautiful, and it's a great town, and yeah, so far it's and it's super quiet, and but so far it's been amazing. Yeah. Should I pass this on?
Have you ever been to Chile?
Anyone?
I've been a couple of times. Yes, I came maybe 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
And do you like it?
Loved it, yeah. We were there when there was an earthquake, which made one of the nights quite interesting.
I bet.
Yeah, the bed moving. And we were here for a good few days, and it's a good nightlife town.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
So guys, what are you expecting for today, or tonight? I think Chile has a lot of Amy fans, so I think it's a big opportunity to show what Amy was, because when Amy did her last concert, I was like 8 years old, and I never got to experience it. So I think tonight is gonna be a really good opportunity for people that didn't get that chance. What do you think? What are you expecting for tonight?
Well, I think exactly what you're saying is great, and it's part of the reason why we do this, is that a lot of people have found her music after she passed, and would never have had the chance to get the live experience of it. So it's great that we see so many younger faces in the audiences,
yeah.
and we're looking forward to the same tonight.
Amazing. How many of you, I know Dale, but who else was in the original band? You. Wow, a lot of you. What was like working with Amy? I want to know. I think she was really literal with her lyrics, and I love that about her music. I want to know, how was that for you guys? How did you work with her, with the music, the lyrics? Yeah, tell me a little bit about that.
The lyrics, I don't know about how relevant that is for us as instrumentalists.
That was her.
That was her.
Yeah.
It's great to reflect on the appeal that she has, because the lyrics really touch people in a way that's kind of speaks to truth. That was what she was all about. It's always refreshing playing music that feels meaningful, which is great. As far as working with her, it was quite a free kind of approach that she took. Really, not really saying too much to direct us, and just kind of letting us say our own thing and do our own thing.
Nice.
Which is always nice for a musician to have that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Dale. I read that you saw Amy's essence in the third gig that you guys had, and you said like she really didn't need a band, that her voice was really special. But I think that what you guys are doing right now is really special, like being Amy's band without Amy. So I think she really did need a band, right? How do you think the Amy Winehouse Band is gonna grow over time? Are you gonna guys have original music, or is only gonna play a tribute to Amy? What are you expecting for the Amy?
Well, at the moment, we're just honouring the music and the legacy. There's always people asking us if we're going to do original material. We don't really get the chance to do it, because when we're off the road, everyone works with different things. I don't know, if there was studio time and a budget for it, then maybe we should come up with something. But it's not the easiest when we're away from working with each other.
Right. Nice. You've collaborated with a lot of people like Tina Turner, for example. You've collaborated with a lot of people like Tina Turner, for example. I want to know, are you expecting another collaborations in the future with another musicians, or just focusing on this project?
Well, when I worked with Tina, I was just a bass player,
Okay.
and just bass player most of the time with the other artists as well. So at the moment, the schedule's so busy that I don't get a chance to do anything with anyone else. So maybe when there is some time, someone might pick up the phone and call me.
You're all noted. I want to know, what was that you saw in Amy on that gig that you said, like, this girl is really special? I know she had another bass player before, like you weren't the first one, but
No,
I've done my research. I love.
it was one. It was one. It was one.
Two?
It was one. No, one. It was one gig. No.
With Steve.
With Steve, yeah, it was just one gig. Latitude.
No, we did. What was it called? Isle of Wight? Not Isle of Wight.
Big Chill.
Big Chill. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It was just that one. Sorry, yeah, it was just that one gig. Yeah, so when I went for the audition, in fact, I need to tell a story. Stuart is one of the main reasons why a lot of us are here, because he knew the original musical director. So when we had the auditions, Amy fancied the first bass player, Steve Waters, but he was working with George Michael and Cliff Richard at the time, and he was obviously on more money, and Amy was a new artist, so they weren't paying her that much. So he did one show and they called me in, and I always dubbed myself the uglier, cheaper version. So
Right.
that's why I'm here.
Okay, so once you were called to play with her, actually, what was that you saw in her that was special? I know I read an interview where you said, like, you knew she was gonna be big in the music industry. What did you see in her?
I did, yeah. So after 2 weeks, we did a gig at. Did you do? You didn't do it. Did you do the gig at Notting Hill Carnival? Yeah. So Notting Hill Carnival was a very hard place to play, and Amy was a young artist. We were playing in Powis Square, and it started off quite empty, and then halfway through the gig, people turned up. By the end of it, it was completely packed, and she sang with so much power that I thought, you didn't need a band behind us. You could have done that on your own. You were that powerful. And at that point, I thought she was special. I thought she was going to be massive, but I didn't think she was going to be so big so quick.
Perfect. Of course, no. Please go ahead.
So just in answer to that question, because I had a similar feeling to Dale, but it was the first time that we met her, because like I said, we all turned up for auditions on the same day, and I was auditioning with Steve, who was a bit the original bass player, but it's like we met her outside and just had a chat with her, and you know, we'd been sent sort of some demos and things to learn the songs, and then we got in and we, you know, set up, and then we started playing the first song, and I think it was Stronger Than Me, and then she started singing, and we all just kind of just looked at her and was like, I cannot believe the voice that is coming out of this person. It was so amazing.
And she was like 19, right? 20?
I'm not sure how old she was. Yeah, maybe 20.
Wow.
Was she 18? Yeah, and it's like you don't hear voices like that very often, you know, or at least at that point I hadn't heard voices like that. And yeah, it was just one of those kind of moments that don't come along very often, you know.
She was known in the industry beforehand. A lot of people were chasing her, so she was obviously a special talent from young. From about the age of 16, Simon Fuller picked her up at 19, and then everyone was chasing her after that.
What you said really resonated. There's no voice like Amy Winehouse's voice, right? Do you think that with all the people, with all the musicians, the new artists that are rising up today, is anybody gonna ever not be like her, because I think that's impossible, but like, I don't know, try to be what she was to the music industry, voice-wise?
Just pointing at you. Does anyone want to take this?
I think every generation you have one special talent. Chronologically, where Amy appeared, in my opinion, she'll be the first star of this millennium. So when you look in future, you'll see, you know, in 200-300 years, when you go back, you'll see that she'll be the first star of this millennium. And as I say, you know, there's always one person in every generation who's going to change things. She was that in this time.
Perfect. Do you guys think, whoever want to answer this, that the media had, the press, the paparazzis, journalism, had a lot to do with how Amy was perceived to the world? I think they had a lot of influence in what other people think about her, and actually only really the fans that actually are interested in her life knew what she really was. How do you think that the image of Amy was perceived to other people through the media?
Yeah, well, Amy was very rebellious. She's probably the most rebellious person. She had a punk spirit about her. So, and also when she came out, it was at a time when the media were quite unscrupulous, and a lot of things have changed because of the way they treated people like Amy. So it was just an unfortunate time in the media. Also, she was the first broadband star, so everything was just one click away. So if there was anything that happened, the whole world knew about it straight away.
Right.
I think when it comes to somebody like Amy, or really any celebrity, but especially Amy, there's always sort of going to be multiple versions of the truth.
Right.
And one of those versions of the truth is the people who actually knew her, which is people like us and her friends. And then there's what's written about her, and then there's what people see of her, but they very rarely are the same thing.
Right.
And even, you know, like we helped to work on the film that came out last year. We did all the soundtrack. We did a lot of the soundtrack.
Back to Black?
Yeah. We did all of the live music for that film. We did and went to the premiere and everything. And the film is amazing. And you know, but even then, you watch the film and it's still a version of the truth. It's not really the truth. So I think it's always difficult for people to really fully understand what that person is like if you haven't met them.
Right.
And sadly, that does mean quite often that people aren't very sympathetic to troubles that people have, or you know, the reason why they behave a certain way. You know, there's always a reason for that, and it's not always because that person isn't a good person. It's just that they have been put in very difficult situations. And so I don't know if that answers the question, but I feel like I wanted to say something.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about the movie, actually. I know you collaborated with the music.
That's you.
I want to know, I love the documentary that's on Netflix, Amy. I think that portrays her really well. Back to Black, I have my good things and bad things about it. But what was like working at the movie, with the movie and doing the music?
Right, so I worked on both. The documentary is great, but it has to work around the footage that they've got.
Right.
So the way they present the whole thing, you know, they use the footage and they make a story from that, which is pretty accurate. However, the Back to Black documentary is more accurate than people realise. It's more accurate than the documentary, in my opinion. So when they talk about Cynthia's influence, they don't really talk about that in the Amy documentary.
Right.
Whereas in the film, it really does come across like that, and it's not really a story that's really well known about Amy's, about Cynthia and the influence that she had on her. So I'm glad that came out in the film. It never came out in the documentary. And in the Back to Black film, it's a very subtle thing, but everything you need to know is there, especially at the end when the paparazzis talk about, have you heard about Blake's being a father?
Right.
That hit her hard, you know, so.
I was wondering about that. When I saw it, I felt like the closure of the movie was like, oh, like, that really affected her, and I didn't know if it was true or not, or if it was just like for the drama of the movie.
No,
it really did get to
drama,
her.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing to know for other people, because like I told you guys, I was really little. I'm 25, so when she died, I was really little, and I started to listen to her music after she died. So for people to know her truth, people that didn't get to live in the same time as she did, is really important. So thank you for that. So wrapping up, I wanna guys to ask you. For me, Amy Winehouse is comfort. Her music is comfort. You guys' music is comfort for me. I wanna ask each of you, what is your comfort music? If you had to give a recommendation.
I'll start with somewhere it goes. I'll come back to me.
Comfort is a difficult word to apply
It
to
is.
music for me. I mean, music excites me, it inspires me, and that kind of settles me as a person, I suppose. I think back to my earliest kind of inspirations. Maybe Earth, Wind and Fire when I was 9 years old became an obsession. There's still a band that really I enjoy. Maybe I could say that. Just as I can't pick one.
Okay, that's fair. It's difficult to pick one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to get a very similar answer from all of us, but I know for me personally, I've always gone through phases with music, and I've been really obsessive about different genres and things like that. So currently, my music of comfort is bluegrass, which would be quite unexpected for most people, considering I'm a saxophone player. But there
Right.
you go. But yeah, that's what I have to say.
Amazing.
Do you want to say that too, Bronty?
I have to agree and say that Amy is my comfort music. Like, I always go back to Frank. That's my comfort album. Whatever I'm feeling, I will go back to that. So for me, it's Amy.
Amazing.
I'm kind of the same as Howie, really, in that there's not like any one artist or anything like that. I mean, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, if music can, you can relate to it in so many different ways of how you're feeling, and
Right.
maybe it makes you feel a certain way, or maybe you're feeling a certain way, and then you want to listen to something that complements
Right.
that, which could be,
The mood you're in.
yeah, it could range from something super chilled to something really kind of
Right.
out there and angry. Who knows? But yeah, so not one thing in particular.
It depends on the mood.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sure.
I think my comfort music would be stuff that I used to listen to as a kid, that my parents used to play me, and some classical, some Beethoven. I like Beethoven; it's really emotional.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think comfort is drawn from nostalgia with music. So often it is music you remember
It is.
when you first got into music. But for literal comfort, I'd say Stan Getz.
Perfect. Love it.
I grew up on things like guitar music in the 60s, Hendrix, The Who, The Stones. I was a big mod fan. And funnily enough, those sort of things, that was my comfort thing, but it was a continual link throughout my whole life, so like the Northern Soul thing, the mod scene in the late 70s, which gave way to a lot of acid jazz, and and that had a link right through to Amy. So it's all interconnected.
Right.
The things that I grew up with, it's a thing that I actually followed through and ended up in this situation here. So that's the comfort thing for me.
Amazing. I loved all your answers. I've seen videos of you on stage. I'm gonna see you live tonight, which I'm really excited about. But I feel like what Dale said about you in an interview, that you capture her really good without being her, is really special, because I think that a lot of people try to imitate her. Even I do when I sing in my room. I try to be her and I'm not her. But I think it's really special what you do, bringing her voice to live. And how do you do it? How do you feel you capture her without being her?
Yeah, I mean, it would be weird if I was trying to be her. I mean,
Right.
Amy was their friend first and foremost, like it would be strange if I was trying to be a carbon copy. And it wouldn't feel right for me either. I think the best way I can respect her and honour her is to capture her essence and the power that she had. And I guess for me, I just really connect with her songs and her lyrics. They speak to me.
Yeah.
And I connect a lot to what I feel in my personal life connects to what her personal life was as well, and what she was writing about. And I think that's the best way I can emotionally connect to her. And I think that's why it comes through.
Right.
I think that's why.
Amazing. I'm gonna see you tonight.
Yay!
And lastly, I want to ask you guys, who do you think it's a really good promise in the music world? For example, if you had to choose somebody, like she or he or the group is gonna be really good and gonna
Future.
yeah.
I said if I'm the one
That's such a hard question.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I don't know.
It can be in your guys' like genre, jazz,
Yeah.
R&B. I can give you my opinion if you like. I think Ray is gonna
Ray did pop
Ray?
into my head. Yeah. I really don't know.
That's
I
okay.
really don't know.
I
I'm
know.
sorry. Go on, Dave.
That's okay.
So this isn't really for the future because this artist has been around for quite a while. But there's an American artist called Valerie June. Valerie June,
Perfect.
who is has just got something that I just haven't really heard before. She sounds like a singer from the 1930s, but transplanted into modern times. And it's not so much that we're looking towards the future. I just think everyone should listen to her. So go and listen to Valerie June.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much.